Jameson Williams. Let's talk about Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams, phenomenal talent. Lions traded up to get him. When available this year, my goodness, when he touched the ball, it was magic. It was explosiveness. It was unbelievable. It was so fun to watch. That touchdown that was called back up against the Packers, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So the what could be. So what are the expectations year 2? And can he live up to it? And I would say the expectations are that Jameson Williams catches 60, 67 balls and gets about 1,100 yards. Probably 5-6 touchdowns. I think that's realistic. I don't think he's a 100-catch guy in the NFL. Now, given the way the Lions offense runs, that could very easily be not the case. He could be a Jalen Waddle. He could be a Tyreek Hill. Massive production, massive targets, all underneath, short, using his speed. That's fine. But in this offense, which doesn't really favor anybody, I think year 2, give me 67 catches, 1,118 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think that's
what I'm going to go for.
And that's fair given the fact that every time he touched the football, it went for 40 yards.
Well, if you did that, man, you'd get 3,000 yards receiving.
Right. So he touched the ball how many times? I'm going to make sure I'm correct here. I know the Green Bay
three touches
times
total
for 40. And one of them was in the run game, if you guys remember that as well.
End around, correct?
Yeah, at the end around. He exploded for another 40 yards. So Jameson Williams, if we talk about potential, he has the potential to be one of the better receivers, I do believe, in the league because of how quick his speed, his route running. I mean, he has pretty much the entire package. Now, playing behind Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's your number 1 wide receiver, if you bring back DJ Chark, maybe you see Jameson getting 900 yards, 850, maybe close to 1,000. Maybe he clears 1,000. It's not about the number to me. More so, it's about the rapport between Jared and him. And that's got to be established in the offseason. That's got to happen over the next couple months. And him and Jared getting together, getting that chemistry, like Amon-Ra had with Jared at second half of his first season in the NFL, Jameson can get to that. That's all I'm concerned about. If those guys are on the same page, the numbers I'm not as concerned of. Yeah, you want them to be efficient. You don't want them to drop a bunch of footballs, unlike Amon-Ra St. Brown. But it's more so just the connection. How are they using him? I'm glad Ben Johnson's back for this specific reason as well. So you have Ben orchestrating everything with Jameson. But Jameson, I do have full faith in. I don't think you're going to see this year, watching Jameson, you're like, man, we took this guy? I think it's going to be the opposite. I think it's going to be basically, confirmation of why you took him. The explosiveness. I mean, what he can do in every area. The run game, the passing game, deep downfield, short, intermediate. I mean, he checks all those boxes. So, to me, I have no concerns whatsoever. The question, will he live up to the hype? Absolutely he will. Because you have everything in place for him to succeed. You have Jared Goff, a veteran quarterback. He's not walking into Chicago with Justin Fields. You have Jared Goff, who's good enough. You have an offensive line who's going to give Jared time to throw. And you have Ben Johnson, who's drawing up these plays that have gotten productivity out of these wide receivers. Khalif Raymond got 500. What did he get, 500 yards this season? I mean, you're telling me Khalif can get 500, but Jameson can get 800, 900? Yeah, he's going to be just fine. And I think the big part of this, Adam, is the fact that you have Jared, you have Ben, you have that offensive line. Those things are the most important. Because if Ben were to leave, maybe I'd be a little concerned about how Jameson smooths in here. But now you've had a year under Ben Johnson. You have an offseason to work with Jared Goff. And this season, this is his time. We'll see what happens with DJ Chark. If DJ Chark does not resign, his production will increase, obviously. So the whole question, will he live up to the hype? I would say yes, but to me it's not entirely based on production. I think all that stuff will come. The talent he has, and Ben Johnson, they're going to find ways to utilize it. So no concern for me whatsoever.
All right, fair enough. No concern, I would agree. I think the biggest thing to factor in is that you got your quarterback coming off his best season in his career, you could argue. You have your offensive coordinator returning, and you're playing in an NFC that outside of who? Dallas, Philly, and the Niners. Who's really better than you? Not many. Who are the shutdown corners in the NFC? Surtain and Sauce are in the AFC.
It's a good point. Yeah.
You got a lot of free
You have Jair in Green Bay.
Yeah, he got busted up all year. But had one good game against Justin Jefferson, but whatever. I'm just saying. I'm expecting really good things from Jameson Williams this year.
And if
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you think about it too, him and Amon-Ra, they work so well together. Like they're
so different.
Absolutely, that's probably the
Complement
other
each other.
thing. Yeah, absolutely. Like if your two wide receivers are DJ Chark and Jameson, like all right, both those guys have similar, positives about their game, deep downfield, what they can do, stretching the offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown and him, yeah, that's going to be a nice duo. Definitely, no doubt about it. But what were you going to say? Just wanted to add that in. And injury is important too. Him staying healthy, obviously.
That's going to be a big thing this year.
Yeah.
I want to see how the knee looks. I think he looked fine at the end of the year. My goodness, how fast he was. He broke away from the Packers secondary players who are pretty fast themselves. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for what this offense looks like over a 17-game schedule with hopefully Jameson Williams there 15, 16 of those games. Watch out.